Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Borderbros podcast, the podcast where we can actually sit down and be excited to talk about our favorite game. I'm your host, Mikey Dubs, alongside, you know him, I've known him my entire life, the original Border Bro, the guy who's known when Borderlands is in the house. He's the man with the plan. Steve, what's up?
Episode 4, Borderlands 4. Just want to do a little start, Mike. We are rolling. We have a lot of momentum going here.
Back from episode 2, we have Tall. His favorite non-unique gun is an SNS munition shotgun, which means he's kind of a freak of nature. He was there from day one, the launch day of Borderlands 1. He's an OG. Every time you've played that game, he's played that game 4 times over. Tall, how's it going?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to talk about Borderlands. Borderlands vest on. I'm ready to rock.
Let's go. All right, so we're going to be starting off this video with something a little bit different. Okay, so that's how this is going to work. I'm going to be showing these two players different weapons inside of Borderlands 2. They do not know that I'm going to be doing this. So they are going to be showing different weapons inside of Borderlands 2. And the first player to buzz in, give me the correct weapon, gets a point. And you can get a bonus point if you can give me the special effect of the weapon. If you get just the weapon and not the special effect, your opponent can then get a chance to steal by telling me its special effect. If you get the answer wrong, the guess immediately goes to your opponent. If your opponent gets only 1/2 of it, then you can steal it back. And we go into you guys either get it or give up. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. First one. Tall. What is this gun?
Maggie.
That is the Maggie, and what is its special effect?
So bullets, the projectile splits into, I think, 8, if I'm not mistaken. So it's basically a revolver that shoots like a shotgun.
Steve, you have a chance to steal. If you do not steal, he's going to get 1 point.
Now, he guessed the Maggie, correct?
He did. If you get the right special effect, you can...
We know that's the Maggie, obviously. Though the special effect is, I know it has a crit bonus. Fires multiple projectiles?
No, that is incorrect. It fires 6 projectiles. Tell you were very close to getting the bonus point, but that is why it is, of course, a bonus point. Okay, it's time for round 2. You guys ready? You feeling it? You all warmed up?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
Fingers on the...
Okay. All buzzed in first. What is it?
That is the Hellwalker.
Okay, and what is its special effect?
Special effect is it shoots in a pentagram pattern. It is always locked to the fire element and comes in a few varieties.
That is completely correct, except for the very end part. It doesn't come in any varieties, but you get the bonus point.
It's just the speed loading?
I don't think so. I think it's got fixed parts.
I think it's completely fixed parts. Why did I think there was a few varieties of it? Never mind.
I could be wrong about that.
Wait a minute. We're doing Borderlands 3 guns as well?
Yeah, it's all mixed in. It's all mixed in.
All right. A little curveball on me. Mine was all Borderlands 2, but I got to expand here.
Okay, are you ready for the next one?
I'm trying.
Fingers on the trigger.
That was close. Tall. What is this weapon?
I just pressed the button without thinking. We're
gonna add a timer to how long you have to guess.
This is the Shreddifier. This is the Borderlands 2 Shreddifier.
That's correct.
That's correct. Okay. And it has a very large magazine size and has the traditional Vladoff fires faster the longer you hold down the trigger.
That is half correct. That it is the Shreddifier. Steve, you have a chance to steal. What is the special effect of the Shreddifier?
The kick up in RPMs is much quicker than a typical Vladoff.
That is correct. Steve steals for 2 points. It ramps up faster.
Let's go.
Okay. So from this point forward, you have 10 seconds to respond for the weapon and 10 seconds to respond after that for the special effect. If you're trying to explain it, you have longer, as long as it's not just like a you don't know. All right, we good?
Yeah.
All right, the score is 3-2. So the special effects are going pretty picky here, but that's how it's gonna be.
I,
guys ready?
I'd like to be held to no other standard.
Okay, I'm sorry. I am sorry. Okay, here we go.
Are you kidding me?
It's close.
I'm quick on the draw.
Let's go. Okay,
I'm quick
10,
on the draw.
9.
This is the Q system.
I don't
Is
like
that
it. I don't like
correct?
that answer.
That is
I don't like the
incorrect.
answer.
That is incorrect. Steve, go ahead.
This is the OPQ system by Atlas. Special effect. It actually draws a clone of itself and fires at the target you are ADSing at.
That is correct.
Let's go.
The OPQ system makes a
Details
clone of
matter.
itself. Now, there is another special effect. If weapons that have multiple special effects, I will be taking 1 or 2. It has a chance to do shock splash damage. That goes for both the primary weapon and the clone.
Ooh. Okay, that's oddly specific.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Yeah. let's
Well,
do it.
Tall's really good on the button. Maybe just let him take it. and see what
I'm
goes.
good on the button. I mean, it's
Oh, 33
Uh,
milliseconds difference between your buzzers, Tall.
this is the why can't I remember the name now?
3, 2, 1.
No,
Give it to me.
Tall, that's
Yeah, give
enough
it to
to
him.
Steve.
Give
Steve,
it to him. Give him to
That's
him.
the Queen's call. That's the Queen's call.
I'm sorry, that is incorrect, Tall. You have a
Not
chance.
the Queen's call.
Is that the King's call?
That is, in fact, the King's Call. But the King's Call
Okay.
does have some special effects. If you can give me one of them, you get the bonus points. And if you cannot, Steve will get the bonus points if he gets it correct.
What is the special effect? The special effect is can come in any element, and it is doesn't it shoot homing bullets? Or I'm completely mistaken.
We will give it to you. It does shoot homing bullets. It has a lot of special effects. You get the bonus point and the original. Great job, Tall.
Wow.
It does.
I wouldn't have gotten that if Steve didn't get it wrong. So credit to him
It's-
for that.
When it shoots, Steve, do you know it?
Yes,
So
I
for a
do,
bonus
'cause I
point,
thought
can
it
you
was-
give for a bonus point?
I thought it was the Queen's call, but it's now confirms the King's call. It's got lifesteal.
It does have lifesteal. It also, when you land a crit, it gives you back 3 bullets in the magazine rather than the 1 or 2 from the other call weapons. And it shoots out the homing bullets that come back and hit either your target or a target close by that Tal was mentioning. Great job.
Okay.
Okay, next
You're
round.
so fast on the button. That was a close one.
Steve, you're in there first. What is this weapon?
Oh,
Okay. I went fast on the button there. Is this the unique sloth weapon by Doll? Borderlands 2?
It is not. Tall?
Oh, I don't. Is this the Pimpernel? No.
This is the Pimpernel.
Oh my
Oh.
God! Look at that. The special effect of this is if you shoot an enemy in the crotch region, the bullet travels up through them and splits into 2.
Yes, that is correct. That is very close to what it does. If you shoot, whenever you shoot the weapon, the bullet then a second bullet lands, or after the bullet lands, a second bullet goes up and splits into many other bullets.
I thought it was more specific than.
It's good to shoot at the crotch
I thought-
because if you shoot the crotch, the bullet rises up and splits
You know
into
what?
on their head.
It's so ingrained into the use of that weapon. I genuinely thought this whole time that you had to shoot them in the crotch to get the,
It's a
the
good
travel
technique.
up.
It's a good technique. Good technique. All right.
This in the B shield is crazy.
This is a close match. All right, next round. Tall?
Oof.
Oh, this should be a gimme.
Is this? I know this is the rainbow Kerplaster, but I don't remember the name
5,
of it.
4.
Big Boom Kerplaster? No.
No, sorry, Steve.
That's a peak opener.
That is in fact the peak opener special effect.
Shoots rockets.
Actually, oddly specific, but also correct. That's what it does. It shoots shock rocket damage, so you can scale it with your rocket damage, and then it also has the Blaster grenade at the end.
Now, do I get to
I did
steal the point if they're technically called gyro jets in the description?
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know it shoots rockets. Okay, that's all I.
I got one from Lululemon. Lululemon said it fires rock of rocket shock damage. So
Rocket shock damage.
but the
Got it.
reference is going to be Loot
Shock
Lemon.
damage.
That's what I got it from.
Fair enough.
Shock damage.
Okay, you guys ready for the next round? There's only 2 more.
Okay.
Yep.
What's the score right now? Are we tied up?
Don't worry about the score. Okay.
Oh yeah.
We'll find out at the end of the game.
Don't worry. Don't you worry about the score. The points don't matter. All right, here we go.
Oh, the points don't matter. Yeah.
Oh, Tall buzzed in very quickly.
This is the EMP5 special effect as it does bonus damage while you are in the air.
Ah, great guess.
That is incorrect. Steve?
Incorrect.
Actually,
Oh,
wait.
Wait a minute.
That is correct.
pretty
I'm
sure he's
sorry.
correct.
That is
He is
correct.
Yeah. Okay. Whoa. I knew I had
you are
that
so
one.
you are so correct. You're beyond correct. That is correct. Now there is a second Steve for a bonus point. There's another there is some stuff that he missed from the special effect. Can you name anything?
Yeah, I can't think of anything. I just know the special effect is when you're jumping in the air, you get bonus effects. That's all I know.
Okay, while grounded, you get 25% movement speed, and while airborne, you get 80% crit damage and 200% accuracy.
No, we should know. Me and Paul, we're Zane players. We should know this.
We should
This is
know
like
this.
almost-
I'm not. When it comes to running an SMG, though, once the redistributor came out, I went fully into that. So
no.
I actually only know this because there's a YouTuber that's called EMP5, and he loves
Yeah.
this gun.
It makes it nice on Mo's because you don't really have a way to speed yourself up. So this is our only method. We just run around with this thing in a snowshoe. All right, next. Tall, what do you think this is?
This is the Lucky 7.
This is the Lucky 7. Wow.
And the special effect of this is there's like a randomized slot machine that goes off every time you shoot this. So basically, there's a set of perks that can land on this, and if it lands on the right one, it's actually a very, very good gun.
I'm gonna give you the point for Lucky 7. I'm sorry, I cannot give you the point.
That description doesn't.
It's
not close enough to the actual
it's so
description.
close. It's close, but it's missing a very core function. I think you missed the mark. Steve, do you have a chance to steal?
I can, Michael. Watching a couple of YouTube videos, I remember you using this on a farm. It has multiple buffs, but once you reload, it removes the buff. Are you asking for what the buffs are? It shoots in a 7 pattern. I know that the projectiles are 7 pattern.
The effect is that when you reload, the weapon enters the lottery machine that Tall was talking about. I'm going to give Tall a bonus point for getting the lottery correct, but Steve also gets a bonus point for getting the reload. It's not when you shoot; it's when you reload.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
I'll digitally shake Steve's hand
I'm
on
4
that one.
points. We like points.
We like the points.
You just don't like telling me what the points are.
Yeah, don't worry. The points don't matter. All right. Okay, I put another gun up there.
What?
What is this?
This is the last one. Bonus round. Steve?
Is that the saw bar? Borderlands 2?
That is incorrect. Tall's not buzzed in.
I mean,
Tall?
I'll go for it. Let me think here. I got nothing.
Okay, hint number 1. It's from a game that we have not seen a gun from yet.
Okay, so this is a whatchamacallit weapon. This is a pre-sequel weapon. Or is this a Borderlands 1 weapon?
This weapon is from Borderlands 1. I'm going to reset the buzzers.
Borderlands 1.
Legendary. Steve?
Is this the Destroyer assault rifle?
This is not.
Oh my gosh! What is this thing?
This
is definitely a shotgun. That part I know.
Yeah, I guess.
This weapon is seen in all of the Borderlands titles. I'm not sure about the pre-sequel, but yes, Steve?
It's gotta be the Butcher.
This is the Butcher. And do you know the special effect of the Butcher? It's changed over time. If you can give me any of the special effects, then Tall does not get a chance to steal.
Borderlands 1,
Not, it can be from 2 or 3, any of the special effects from the Butcher.
I'm trying to think of what it is. I don't know what this one is for this game. Dang it, dude. This is a hard one.
Tall?
Is
Reload
this
magazine? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
is it
No,
is
Steve, you
it
missed your chance.
returns bullets to the mag on kill or crit or kill?
In Borderlands 1, it does not have the return bullets system, but in Borderlands 3, it does. It's when fired, it has a chance to refill the magazine. So, Steve,
Is
I'm
that
going
what the
to...
Borderlands 1 was?
Borderlands 1, it was just gun buffs. It was like, it fires in a 5-shot burst, and something like that.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay.
Butcher. That was a huge hint you gave me because there's not a lot of weapons that made it through all the games.
Yeah.
Steve, you got a point
Which
for
is a shame.
Butcher, and Tall, you got a point for getting the weapon return magazine.
Cool.
All right, so now we're gonna switch gears
fun.
and go talk about the Borderlands 4 trailer. Tall's got some things that no one has been talking about, which is perfect. That's what he's here for. So let's jump right in. Okay, so here we are in the trailer. Tall, take me to where we have to go.
Okay, so if you just start playing it now, this whole opening scene we have here with what we see is like the siren walking up. You can even pause it right now. Okay, she's right in front of it. But if you go to about 10 seconds, so let it play till 10, you can see that it says scav there. And this looks very similar to some of the promo art they put out initially, which was really interesting to me. And so this to me either tells me that this is Elpis already right here, and this might be a glimpse of one of the first like red chests we encounter in the game, and because the scavs are there, and we know the scavs were on Elpis from the pre-sequel, so this either means that the scavs have made it onto Kairos and we're on Kairos fighting the scavs, but I imagine the scavs are the first enemy we encounter coming from Pandora. They're going to put us somewhere we're at least a little bit familiar before they throw us right into Kairos. But for all we know, that because Elpis is now in Kairos's orbit and possibly sharing some part of the atmosphere, it's changing the way Elpis is, because Elpis was very cold because it was a moon, right? And now we have this kind of desert vibe. So you can go ahead and keep playing it until I kind of spot something else that I notice. Also related to the siren, it's second 19. Oh, actually, yeah, right. Go back a little bit from there.
I like your theory about how the moon is becoming more like Kairos.
Yeah. Because think about it. If it crashes through that atmosphere, it's gonna be similar. So if you go back actually a few frames way further back than this, sorry. Right after we see that disc gun, and you see what looks like the person that we're all thinking is ex Maliwan operating. Right there. That's perfect. If you look at the barrel of that gun, which looks like a Maliwan weapon to me, you have this different kind of, looks like alien, kind of almost tribal tattoo, if you would, on the barrel. And I'm very curious if that is going to insinuate any kind of like influence from Kairos and whatever the kind of Iridians on Kairos, and how they might relate to the weapons on Kairos. I mean, otherwise, it's just a really cool looking vent on the front of the gun. But I like to think that there might be some further implication and storytelling going on with the weapons.
Steve, what do you think about that?
I didn't bring up in our previous episodes, but I noticed this yellow glow a couple times and ammunition flying off the casings, a little bit of yellow illuminations on some just some yellow. There's that yellow display right there in the bottom right hand corner that was like shields. the same color keeps popping up. It almost gives me the sense of like this Ordinite stuff is a factor somehow, because that's the only yellow base kind of material that I'm aware of so far. So maybe there's some influence with an outside influence like iridium applying to these guns or what have yous. Yeah, I definitely see some similarities here when it comes to
I mean,
texture, color,
just
casing.
bouncing off that, I mean, they got slag from iridium, and maybe there's something different or some different kind of element that's related to Ordinite.
Hmm.
So for all we know, we might be getting a mechanic similar to slag back. I doubt it, but that's kind of an interest. That's kind of where my head's at with the thinking of it.
I have an idea. What if this skull that we see is like the symbol for Ordinite? Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe not, but like the slag is a skull. The slag icon is like a purple skull.
Or maybe, whatever's going on in his mouth there, that symbol is going to pop up again because I know they love to hide stuff. So that could be like the skull itself could be a red herring for that little 4-line symbol that's in his mouth.
Yeah.
I thought about this, Michael. We talked about this skull, this frame right here.
Yeah,
There
because
are games where
at around second 19, you'll see right after that thing gets blood exploded. Steve, you were saying that it's like on the wall back there.
yeah, I was noticing that same skull. But I'm talking about like that graphic that pops up in the middle of your screen after you throw that grenade. There's a game where there's like patrols that go around, and if you get caught by a patrol, seen by the patrol, your screen's like, hey, there's an alert. You've been spotted, and there's about to be some serious firepower coming into your direction until you eliminate them all. And I'm
It,
wondering, like, if this is like the sign of a hey, the Ripper clan or whatever sees you. They're coming in, and it's about to be, the skull of death. They're about to come in and take you out. So, I wonder if that's maybe an indication of you've been spotted.
if that is, then it's interesting because we might be getting some kind of stealth mechanics for Borderlands,
Mm.
which could benefit any kind of builds that involve snipers because you can have this kind of in combat, out of combat system. So outside of combat, quote unquote, with the enemies not noticing you, you might get stat bonuses, and there might be action skills that relate to that as well. So you can have
Tall.
different kind of build varieties going into different scenarios, thus leading to more replayability.
I understand that maybe this isn't their technology because they seem a little bit more tribal in a way, but we do
Hmm.
see those like floating drones with like a red beam. It appears to be scanning the ground every once in a while throughout this trailer.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you accidentally get caught up in that line of sight that you have been detected, and then
Well,
boom, you're aware of it.
I don't think that it's too far fetched to say, and this works with the story as well, that what if the Order all over Kairos is always patrolling, right? So if they're always patrolling, then similarly to in Borderlands 2, where Handsome Jack, you'll be fighting a bunch of bandits, and Handsome Jack will throw a bunch of loaders on your head. You know, like what if we have a very similar mechanic going on? And then like in a lot of other games, let's say you have two different factions in the same area, there's a possibility that they'll fight each other. So you'll get into altercations where the Order's fighting the Rippers while you're fighting them both, which I think would be cool.
To me, that sounds a
I don't
lot
know.
like Handsome Jack's loaders on in the Bloodshot Ramparts when
Yeah,
there's cutscene or like there's bandits that you can't do damage to because they're supposed to die to the loaders, and like that's showing
yeah.
that the war between them.
I mean, this is just another way that kind of concept can be reinforced. And again, that goes into a lot of the storytelling elements that I was talking about, like in the second show.
Now, tall. Go back to that first scene. You
Hmm.
mentioned kind of the background, the scabs. Elpis possibly change the climate, the temperature around the planet. It's no longer cold. We're hot. We're close to a planet. Do you think that chest right there? You think that's just we just put that in there for the trail, or you think every time you think this is the opening of the game, we see that red chest every time?
I
To start
I
the
would
game, pop a
I would
chest.
like to. I think there's like a mental callback, like there's a psychological aspect to it that like people will be like, that's the chest that I saw in the trailer. And the other thing is that, like, in a lot of, you know, you know, RPGs in general, there's that mechanic of that first, good chest that you open. No, I'm not saying I think we deserve a legendary in the opening of the game, because I wouldn't really want that. I would really love to enjoy the, like, RNG of weapons and kind of the spectrum of non-legendary weapons first before you get um a legendary, because we definitely had legendary saturation overload with Borderlands 3. I think we can all agree on that, and it kind of robs you of the enjoyment of getting them. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the earliest red chests that are available.
Now, Mike, do you think this is a theatrical illustration of the introduction of getting a weapon for the first time? Because she's approaching this chest with no weapons in hand.
No, I didn't think about that. That's a good point. Like in this opening scene, you see the chest, you see her walking, not a single item in hand.
No gear.
You could make that with the photo mode, even inside of Borderlands 3. Like you could make that scene by going to the side of her and then unpausing time, but you couldn't walk at the same time. So I'm not too sure. But I think it's theatrical. I'm not sure if it's gonna be in the story at all.
Gotcha.
All right, so you want to go to second 19. It's right after the siren kind of blood splodes that one bandit. Now look at the gun on the other bandit that she's about to go around the corner and shoot. So to me, this looks like a TDR weapon. I could be wrong, but it looks like a TDR weapon, and it lends itself. Looks like if it is a TDR weapon, it looks like it's an assault rifle, and it lends itself to something that I really want to see in this game, is that every manufacturer is making every single type of weapon. I want to see what a Jacobs rocket launcher would look like. I want to see what a TDR assault rifle would look like. And so on and so forth. So to me, that seems like something that would be it. Like a Torx sniper rifle. The idea alone is like so Borderlands to me that it doesn't make sense why it doesn't. So
Correct me if I'm wrong, Tall and Mike. You both chime in. Previous games, when the enemy drops a weapon as loot, are they physically shooting that weapon at you,
I don't think so.
like holding it?
I think there's rare instances when that is the case. I think No Beard in Oasis. That's true. He drops the stink pot. I think he might have the stink pot.
I think Midgemong is shooting the Kerplaster too.
I think there are instances, but not commonly.
Now like mobs here holding the weapon they're going to drop.
I mean, how cool would that be if you see a mob with a random, like a world drop legendary in the hand of a mob, and you're getting like beat up by a brainstormer, you know what I mean? And some random mob is holding it. That would be hilarious.
I have played mods in Borderlands 2 that randomize all the weapons for you and the enemies, and ones that enemies drop what they're holding. And those are pretty funny. Like sometimes the enemies get like an SMG that has Northfleet bullets, and you're like, I can't even play the game. But sometimes you get guns that are like insane like that too. So I like the idea of enemies that drop what they're holding. I think that makes sense.
Oh, what do you think this white item that pops out of this guy? What do you think this
Um,
is?
so I thought it was an interesting take that you had, Steve, that it's actually ammo for the spinny disc weapons.
I don't
And
even know what it was it for. I thought it was just ammo and just in
well,
general.
if you kind of like it looks like a disc, right? So a lot of people were thinking that it was a class mod. But if these disc launcher weapons are a whole new weapon category on themselves, right? Then like, maybe these disc launcher weapons is the order version of a weapon manufacturer, for all we know. A lot of people have implied that this might be a Hyperion weapon, but for all we know, the order makes only these disc blade launcher things because, the timekeeper wants to throw out clocks. You know what I mean? Maybe they're not plates,
Yeah.
they're clocks. For all we know. So I actually really like the idea of that being ammo because it means we're getting a new kind of gun. Because that doesn't look like any other ammo that would make sense to me.
Why would I want an artifact that's white verity?
I mean, listen, if you run an arms race and you get a right way artifact, you put it on. But I don't know if, for all we know, we're looking at what Borderlands 4's version of arms race is going to be. I doubt it. 'Cause you can
Think I can
use
blow up that? Think I can blow up that chest back there? That blue one?
that blue barrel is definitely
The
explosive.
blue barrel should be removed from the game. Like I'm gonna say it now
Removed.
and until the day I die.
Removed.
The second that barrel is removed from the game is the best day of my life.
There's a mod for that.
Perfect. I might have to install it just for my own sanity. Sorry.
No, you're all good, man. So
Mikey,
the next
open bolt system. I'm loving it. I'm loving it
Yeah,
right here.
oh yeah. One sec. I gotta. Oh, it's so juicy. The way the
Yeah.
bolt just tank. Come on.
the gun animations are so good. From what we've seen of gun animations, they're so good.
This gun, the gun casings don't have that illumination yellow glow like the other one did. I wonder if the other one had a special effect. We'll get to it, but
So
I just-
so anytime you've seen like bullets in on a belt fed system in Borderlands and the gun's been like elemental, usually the bullets will have that elemental color on them, but not in the casings. But like I mean, like look how good the casings are when they come off of this like open bolt gun. Like this
Oh, the
that's
casings, man.
that's definitely a doll.
You think
And I
that's a
love that
doll?
sight. It's got to be a doll. That looks so much like a doll.
It ramps up like a Vladoff.
When he goes to aim down sight, I don't see it bursting.
We don't know if that's going to be the same mechanic.
True.
Yeah.
But to me, this says doll.
It definitely looks like the
Color-
combat style of doll.
It looks like the combat style. Like it's. I mean,
The
you could
speedy
also
barrel.
imply
It's kind of circular though. Yeah, it's kind of circular.
Speedy
I'm
barrel.
thinking Vladoff. I think it was
I mean,
Kairos Vladoff
well,
crossover.
What if this is a doll gun that's just rolling with a Vladoff barrel?
Good. Yeah, the color scheme is doll.
The color scheme says doll to me, and the sight says doll to me, and the general Call of Duty-ness of it says
Yeah.
doll to me.
True.
Like it doesn't look
It's funny.
very AK-47y to me, and that's kind of what I associate
Right.
for.
No, you
Vladoff.
can look at where the mag is. I think it could be a curved magazine. If that's in fact a curved mag, that's gonna scream like an AK-74, AK-47 style.
Yes, I mean it could also be. We could be getting bullpups in Borderlands 4.
Is that a Woodstock? Or is that they're holding like an SMG?
That's
That looks like a thumb.
Oh.
That looks like a thumb to me.
We got
Oh,
ourselves
wow,
an
man.
AK-74U, baby.
that is either a thumb or a Woodstock. We're gonna pause it right there.
It looks thummy to me. It looks thummy to me.
Are we sure?
If that
Look
is-
at how
if
shiny
is
that
a
curve
wood
is
stock-
right there. Look how that's a
if
shiny
it is
curve.
a wooden stock, then it's definitely a Vladoff.
But she doesn't
But-
have.
I think it's flat off.
This is
I
the
do.
siren.
I think it looks doll though.
She doesn't have brown gloves. That's the siren.
But that could just be her thumb
It could be her thumb. True.
because she's
Well,
got
she's got-
fingerless
she's got-
gloves on.
She's
It could
got
be
a
her thumb.
tan
Oh
thumb
my
and a-
gosh, we can't go. Okay. Tall. What
Alright, alright,
what? Okay,
alright.
what's going on
Move
next?
on. Let's move on.
Okay, for next, if you speed it up to, I think it's second 25 I have here. It could be a little bit later.
Nothing about this clip. Nothing about this clip right here.
Give us something.
No, nothing about this clip. A lot of this stuff has already been talked about.
This one right here.
You know-
This clip. You got nothing for this one?
Nothing for this one.
Really? No one's
Nothing
got
for
anything
her-
for that
Michael's
clip.
determined.
This one right here. Stop.
Okay, I'm stopping right here.
Okay, so this is kind of goes. So this is the scene where we think like we're on Elpis because we got the air geyser and we have the rip in the sky, clearly there. So this is what I'm saying about the beginning of the game being on Elpis, but also goes to like. I mean, I don't see a lot of people pointing out this is where the atmosphere has been broken on Kairos. And so it'd be really interesting to see the first bit of the game playing out. Like you manage to teleport to Elpis, because theoretically that's where the Vault Hunters had the only fast travel access, correct? Right? Because we knew about Elpis. The characters have been to Elpis before. So they teleport you to Elpis to go find Lilith, right? And then this opening scene is Elpis crashing into Kairos, like right away. Now, I know they talked about it possibly being way more in the future from this point, but I thought it would be cool, personally. So I like to insert things that I would like to see on top of necessarily what's likely. Also, I think it's interesting that instead of the suicide psychos now, instead of holding grenade, this thing definitely looks like a skull to me. Like, it's got these red eyes, it's got the like glowing red mouth, and I think it's just a cooler nod to like what the suicide cycles are like in general. Okay, I have the next one that I have is
Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 sec. I actually didn't notice that it was a skull or any of this before. I'm surprised. Like, I'm surprised I didn't see. Like, I just didn't see it. I was blinded by my own, just
People
staring
just
at
see
this
the
guy.
geyser. People
Yeah.
just see the geyser in the back and say, "Oh, we're on Elpis again. That's an oxygen vent geyser." They don't. Nobody. I've not seen anybody really talk rip in the background.
I wanted to bring up something that More on Afterkill brought up about the art style, and it's gonna be right in the next frames.
Okay, go
He
for it.
brings up that there's an over reliance on large, bright animations, both from barrels and and especially these kinds of explosions. This guy blows up. Do you see like how bright and big that is?
Yeah.
He mentions that that's kind of a bad thing, and he actually brings up Borderlands 2 versus Borderlands 3 in this, and how Borderlands 2s are very much more muted. They're kind of quick, more like shadowy, and then disappear.
Well, so also the thing is that with Borderlands 3, they introduced a lot more light mechanics, right? Like, so you see how bright this is? Like, Borderlands 2 didn't have explosions that came off this bright with all this extra kind of halo, corona, whatever you want to call it, around the explosion. Like, you would just see like the base lines in that animation of the explosion. You wouldn't see all the light refracting off of it. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And like, that's definitely a skull.
I agree. What do you think of this guy in the back here? Like, look at this guy.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Is that a statue of the Order? Like, what is that? Is that what the Order's ships look like when they dock on a planet, like the bad guys from Chronicles of Riddick with their like mega ships? Does anybody get what I'm talking about?
It's a space porta, John. That's for the aliens where they go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, has to be.
It looks like a
And
big dude. All right.
It looks like it could be one of those like Iridian looking structures that the Order does.
I like it. I'm just so mesmerized by this freeze frame. I really haven't. I've seen this video I don't know how many times. It's just, this is incredible. All right.
Are we looking down to Kairos? Or are we looking into the vast space right here?
So I have no idea, because all of that stuff that's going on above could be like, if you look at that statue of a dude, it almost looks like there's something coming off his back. Like, for all we know, that's some kind of pipeline back down to Kairos, and that's nighttime on Kairos, and you can see that it's nighttime because
Guys,
that's
I'm sorry to cut
that's
you
what a
off.
nighttime map looks like when you look at, let's say, the net map of the United States with like where population density.
Tall, Mike, am I not seeing cabling from this location through this fracture?
That's
Multiple
exactly what I'm
cabling?
saying.
Okay, you are? Okay.
Yeah, because if you look at the back, look at like, let's all just for argument's sake agree that the dude in the background that Mike highlighted is a statue, right? Now
Yeah.
go right off of his back. You see there's something coming off the back, and it curves right down, almost landing right there on the coast of whatever that area is on Kairos, if that is Kairos.
It's keeping it in place.
And so
keeping up close.
maybe the Order said, "Oh, this broke our orbit. We're gonna like latch onto it,
Hmm.
and we're gonna keep it here because we need it." because maybe the only thing that they're missing to really take control using all the vaults, maybe they're missing iridium. And when did the iridium start to really have an effect on Pandora? It was related to Elpis. So maybe Elpis is part of the key, because Elpis is supposed to be the original vault, right?
Right.
Well, it's actually
So
it was the key to the vault of
it's the
Pandora.
key to the vault, right?
Right.
So maybe the timekeeper wants the key, and it just teleported into his backyard.
How convenient.
Wow. All right.
And he's
Bring
hanging
us-
on to it.
that is
Well, I
crazy. That is crazy. We'll let people simmer on that. Tall. Take us to the next thing.
All right, so second 33. This is the right. Okay, perfect. You can stop right here. Okay, on the top of the screen there, you see that red banner, that ripped red banner, right there. Perfect. So that ripped red banner gave me an idea that I thought would be super cool and add to a lot of fun ways to have replayability. Now we see all the red lights in this area. We see that there's kind of maybe this like makeshift dock going on. This is giving very Bandit vibes. But what if that, this area was an area that we defeated the Order in previously in the game and then have to revisit, and now that there was a power vacuum in this area, instead of the Order respawning here, the Rippers took over this area. So we replay areas fighting against different enemies, right? So let's say even if you keep it going to this shot of the grappling hook being used, right? And you run through this, let's say maybe we defeat all the Rippers in this area, and then the Order patrols, and the next time we have to run through here, we're fighting the Order.
Why does this remind me so much of Star Wars Battlefront, the Galactic Conquest, where the Empire or whoever factions could control a planet at any point, and it could flip flop depending on when you visit?
Yeah. And that would just make it cool. It would also especially make it cool for certain type of, let's say, named enemy drops. So like you would need a certain Order named enemy to drop in a certain area, but it would only drop if the Order is currently in control of that area. It would then force you to wipe out all the mobs in that area so that the other faction could come through, so that you could then reset the area and have it with the opposing faction's mobs. That would then trigger a named enemy to come out. I don't know. That's something that I thought would be a cool mechanic. It always adds to replayability when you can go through areas and fight different sets of enemies. Because something that would have worked for you in terms of placement and where you're shooting from against the Rippers might not work against the Order.
Yeah, Mike, you noticed a lot of humanoid enemies, same size.
Yeah, here that's the case. I really like what you're saying about like it kind of feels a little bit Far Cry-y, where you clear out the bandit camps along the like the periphery or wherever it is. I really like the idea of like a different faction coming in and taking over. And that would definitely change up your gameplay a lot, especially if one faction has more melee enemies and the other one has more range, like you were talking about. It really changes up your gameplay.
From what I saw of all of the mobs in the first trailer for the Order, it looks like they have more melee melee things that you need to fight against, where the bandits are going to be bandits. You know what I mean? We know what bandits are like. We fought bandits in every single Borderlands game. And if you look at, for instance, like the Iridian Guardians in all of the Borderlands games, like they're all melee characters. You're all fighting against melee mobs. So like it would make sense if the Order that has this very Guardian-esque vibe was again all melee. And you have some of those like wizard type guys that look like they're using like a staff of sorts, but if you fast forward to when you keep going and watch when the Vault Hunter kills that enemy and he explodes all what everyone thought was like well, actually I have something for this. And this is something really cool that I thought would tie deeply into Borderlands lore. So if you scroll back a little bit to right before she shoots the orb, is this action skill, is this the fabled chroma? So if you guys played one of the, I think it's one of the Borderlands mods, I think it was Reborn. Borderlands Reborn introduces a gun called the Chroma that it's basically the Sandhawk. It shoots all of the shots in a tight pattern, and it all travels in a straight line, kind of like a shotgun would. It's basically a better version of the Sandhawk in that Reborn version. But they talk about the Chroma, I think in Borderlands 1 and 2, it's referenced in random echo logs and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken. And it would be really cool if instead of it actually being something that existed, it's supposedly like an ancient, like a lost Atlas tech was the Chroma, like pre-Reese being in charge of Atlas. And what if our person here, what if this character either found it and is using it, similar to the way they found Gortys in Tales of the Borderlands, and is now her action skill is using this chroma that she now fixed, which would just be a super cool callback for Borderlands fans that have are aware of that. And the chroma supposedly shoots one of every element. And so that would be a really cool thing for me. I got really excited when I thought of this because I love the idea of doing this deep of a cut and a callback to earlier Borderlands game.
I'd be really,
Also,
really cool if it was called the Chroma and it was a callback, because I think it really does shoot one of every element, and that would be really cool if one of the Vault Hunters has innately just walks around with a super legendary piece of gear, kind of like Iron Bear, but with a lot of foreshadowing.
Yeah. And also, if you keep running this area, if you keep looking at it, looks like there's these things could be one of two things, right? If you stop it right before it switches to this scene right here. There, stop. Oh, go back a little bit. Okay, perfect. If you look at that structure thing to the left of the screen, to me it almost looked like it was the head of a Sentinel from X-Men. And maybe there's a possibility that we're fighting a massive robots, and these robots fell down at some point because there's a side. And it's either that or it's mining equipment. And if it is mining equipment, it would be really cool if we didn't just contend with above ground on Kairos, but below ground as well. And that there was kind of equal amount of map underneath ground. So theoretically, you would have to access some areas from going into the tunnel system of Kairos, and you could encounter completely different enemies in the subterranean of Kairos. Again, I'm not saying that that's the implication. This could just be an old thrown away mining site. I mean, we know Borderlands loves old thrown away mining sites, but I don't know. I thought it would be cool because if we're supposed to be able to go to everywhere that we can, and Mikey, if you look at in the sky, that drone thing that you were talking about before, that could be the Order scoping out the area. That's what that is to me.
Patrol.
I just think it would be cool if there was an entire tunnel system that Kairos as well, because then you could have vaults underground, and you could have all sorts of fun secrets and side missions that involve the tunneling, so on and so forth.
I think we're definitely going to have a lot of tunneling, because if you look at all of the structure,
yeah, it's all built into the rock.
Yeah.
And this, even there, you can see in that first scene when she's opening the chest, to the left, right? That's all broken down like sinkhole. And then we also had let's not forget, we had Sanctuary Hole. We had all these kind of areas that were accessed via going underground. So it would be cool if that theme got further expanded upon in this Borderlands.
Very earthy landscape, earthy, but also techno. I don't. It does futuristic, but definitely still grounded.
Yeah. So my next thing is not so much related to like any timestamps in the trailer, but more things that we've seen in general in the trailer. So we see a lot of like melee things that go on that could be an action skill, and I think that instead of introducing melee weapons into this game, every single character has like severe melee augments that could be done like once or twice before there's on a timer and you do like a regular, FPS melee. So the reason that I say that is because if you see it around like second 19 when um the the siren does this blood explosion on that bandit. I think to me that looks a lot more like, I think it was either Maya's or Lilith's melee from either Borderlands 1 or 2, where she just kind of does this like force smash. I don't remember if it was Maya or Lilith, but to me that's what that looks like. Just an upgraded version of that. And
I'm
I
not sure
don't
about
think that that would
Lilith.
be a full blown
Maya has
I don't think that would be
Scorn.
a Yeah,
Scorn
then
is the
that
melee
might be what I'm
override.
talking about. So I think that they're going to expand upon the melee override, and I think also you see at one point the hunter uses a throwing knife, and I think that's his melee override. I think this punch is a melee override. Oh no,
And the
that's
side.
actually the siren uses a throwing knife. So I think that that also lends itself to the in combat, out of combat like stealth. But I genuinely think that like her action skill is that Reaper thing that's going to be. I think it's going to be very similar to Death Trap, but I think one of her melee augments is going to just be that bash, and it'd be cool to have both a melee augment and an action skill that you can use in tandem. Because I don't see why they would give us less things. I would see them trying to give us more that we can do in this type of in a new game, because that would change combat up a lot per character, right? Because now your melee actually become a part of your play style for whatever build you're doing, and then melee builds can work on every character. Like every character can have a somewhat melee build, even if they don't necessarily have all of the perks in their skill trees. With some kind of melee augment, you would have more of that kind of perk right there. So if you go back right a little bit from right here, this goes back to what I was talking about earlier. That looks like one of the order that gets exploded in yellow, and it looks like he's holding a sword. Like that on the ground, touching the ground, that looks like a sword to me. And so I see the order being much more melee. Um, and now the last thing that I have is Order Knight is kind of as what I think about Order Knight. And I think that Order Knight is going to be an additional currency to use. I don't think it's going to replace Iridium. I think Iridium is still going to be around, but I would really like to see it as be an additional thing. And this could also go towards what I was talking about in the second podcast about how certain guns could potentially be upgraded, and maybe Ordinite is used just to upgrade your guns, and Iridium is still used for things like SGUs and accessing certain things and other stuff like that, cosmetics and stuff like that. Or maybe one of them is dedicated just to cosmetics, and that's the only way you can get cosmetics, which would be great because then we wouldn't have a cosmetic randomly drop and you think it's a legendary. Um, and you could only get the cosmetics that you want as well, because I know that was a complaint of a lot of people, is like, how many times are you picking up a cosmetic for a third or fourth time? And maybe now they just become available to you after you beat certain bosses or after you do certain things, and then maybe you buy those with Iridium and Ordinite is something more in game. But I really like the idea of both of them being available to you, because in a lot of ways, just based on the color scheme of Iridium to Ordinite, Ordinite is more of a legendary color and Iridium is clearly more of that like epic color. So it would be cool to see that kind of transition between the two. And having both of them, and then we already know that Ordinite does a lot more than that because we already have it kind of hardwired in our heads that orange is above purple in the spectrum of rarity. Am I making sense?
Yeah, definitely. I think that had something to do with what we were talking about last time with this final frame of the timekeeper in the original trailer, how the vault behind him lit up orange, and the vaults in Borderlands 3 light up purple.
Yeah. Also, the vault looks a lot more mechanical than all the other vaults we've seen on Pandora. So maybe vaults on different planets, like, and Kairos. We don't know really that much about Kairos, right? Like, we know that it's been hidden away for a long time. We don't know why. We don't know if it's really been hidden away or just classic Borderlands shenanigans and nobody could find it. Like, and there's a lot of ways that you could kind of work that into the story and how that operates.
I agree. I don't think we're gonna see Iridium, but it does make sense if we get Iridium because Elpis is there. I don't know. Something about just not seeing any of it in the trailer makes me think that it is a replacement. I don't know.
Is that the case, or is it one of those things that they really want you to focus on that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I don't know either. It's just kind of my running theory that I don't think that they're going to get rid of Iridium because it's something that we're now used to on what, 3 games? Is there Iridium in the pre-sequel? Why can't I remember that?
I don't remember if there is Iridium. I don't think there's Slag.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
don't
I
think
would
I don't know about Iridium pre-sequel.
also, I'm pretty sure if you go back to when they're doing that kind of rocket jumping, I'm pretty sure the guy, the little no-legged dude from the like, if you look at this guy here, that guy could be the the no legs guy that we see kind of breakdancing in the first trailer. And that could mean that you see a lot more kind of weird slashed up guys. And maybe the Ripper clan, like, that's what they do. They like rip their own limbs off and put them on other places. And they're kind of more higher up, harder to kill units are these what would seem like to us mangled um body, because like all these guys that you're shooting at here, they all have like a weird gait and they all kind of
He's dr-
lumber around.
he's dropping something purple here.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah,
I just caught it for the first time.
Yeah, same.
but if you look at the other guy in the background that he's starting to shoot towards, like, that guy looks like he's walking on his hands.
Definitely.
And right there you see, right as he jumps away from the rockets, you can kind of see that he has no legs and he's walking up, sticking out his back.
I think he just gets blown up.
No,
Yeah.
because he kind of does that same motion as he's running towards you before you shoot at him.
Hmm.
He's getting just getting destroyed
I
by
think
that
he's
torque.
getting just getting
But
like
you don't see the full blown blood explosion that you do. So like you see it on the ground, but you don't see him like explode.
Mhm.
right.
So I think that these guys have more of the of those kind of ripped apart, put back together type of Sid from Toy Story type vibe.
Oh, definitely. I think they're gonna see like Wilhelm style replacing body parts with like all kinds of stuff.
With different arms and legs and stuff like that.
Definitely.
And that's like
Big-
maybe
You don't kill a dude fast if he's going around adding limbs to himself, making himself like a badass.
I wouldn't be surprised, or like you blow a limb off and they go and rip, like, and that could be a part of the mechanic with these body parts exploding, is that other people around them could pick a body part up and throw another arm on and all of a sudden kind of level up to a badass rank. And then you maybe have like triple O's type situations all over the map with certain amounts of people being around. Like, there's a lot that you can do with that, because especially
What are these guys running to?
I think they're chasing you.
But you're behind them, and they're just running.
Yeah, but they all turn around.
Yeah, like they notice you. Like,
Oh
oh
no, they
crap,
don't turn around.
where are they going?
They're
Are we?
they're running
we
away. What?
Leave
don't
us
know.
I don't know.
alone.
I think that was just the devs were mapping them into an area, and we're like, okay, just set these guys on the path to run this
what if that
way.
was someone running up ahead, get them to pile up for this move?
Exactly.
I think I think they're playing with other people. Like there's multiple Volters on screen, but we just don't see them.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
they ran off, or they exited out just to set that little bit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there is another scene where it looks like people are shooting and engaging off.
Yeah,
side.
right here.
But that could also lead to what I was saying about the Rippers and the Order fighting each other. And so maybe you're in a position, in a spot where they're in current conflict and you show up.
It could be very cool. All right,
I still want to know what's going on with that throwing knife, man. That throwing knife is getting me, because if that's the siren, then that could just be a different melee augment. So she could have that little hand blast that she does, or you can choose the throwing knife.
Something tells me it's a replacement for a grenade.
That would be cool if we could have throwing knives instead of grenades.
Just because we've seen them do, like because spells existed in the grenade slot, I think they just take the same grenade slot and turn it into a throwing knife, but we'll see. All right, do you have anything else for the trailer, Tal?
I don't have anything else from the trailer. A lot of the stuff that I thought up had already been talked about, and I really just wanted to cover the things that I hadn't really.
Yeah, that was absolutely perfect. Okay, have you guys had enough of a break? It's time to earn some more points. All right, you ready?
All right. Fingers on the trigger. Let's get the buzzer going.
Okay, so I have set up a bunch of screenshots of maps for the guys. You get 1 point, same rules as before. You get 1 point if you guess the right, and for the first section, it's all Borderlands 2 maps. You get 1 point for guessing the correct zone, and the bonus point this time around is going to be a named enemy, an NPC, or a dedicated drop from that zone. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Ready.
Okay, and let's do it. Okay, what map is this? Tall?
Okay, so this is Sanctuary.
It is
And I know
Sanctuary.
exactly where this is in Sanctuary. This is actually right outside of Scooters in the upper that upper door that you can go out if you climb the stairs. It's that kind of hallway that leads up from there past Dr. Zed's towards where Claptrap is. And that was not only the location exactly, but it was also 3 NPCs.
Okay, so yeah, basically for Sanctuary, you can name me any NPC that you got, and you get a bonus point.
I tried to be a little specific there.
Yeah, so you did mention Scooter, so you're gonna get that bonus point, and that's basically gonna be the easiest one, right? So we're gonna be going on to the next. None of these are gonna be super hard, but yeah, that was Sanctuary. Woo! You guys did it. You ready for the next round?
Nice. Let's go.
Steve.
Okay, that has to be the wait.
5, 4,
4, 3, 2,
Steve.
1.
No,
Wildlife,
that's incorrect. Tall, do you have a guess?
That's Costa Caverns.
That is Caustic Caverns.
Custom Caverns.
And do you have an NPC, a dedicated drop, or a named enemy?
A named enemy. You can fight Vermivorous here.
Is that the one that spawns from the Varkids?
Yes.
I'm not going to count Vermivorous.
Okay, there's also Blue.
Spawn there.
Blue, that is correct.
Oh, come on, you think I only had one?
No, he knows.
And there was also
there's
also the Creepers in the little Minecraft Easter egg area.
That is correct. Do you know the dedicated drops of the Creepers? There are 2 of them.
No, I know that there's a skin. There's a head,
right?
And I believe a skin as well for every one of the Vault Hunters. I don't remember if they have a dedicated weapon drop off the top.
There are 2 of them. 1 legendary, 1 blue. I'll give a bonus point if you can name them.
Oh, I can't.
Steve?
I don't know.
The Creeper, he drops a Hyperion weapon.
He does. Do you know the name of it? It's a sniper. I'll give you bonus point if you can name the sniper.
Yeah, it's because I just did a presentation on this. Is
That's
it the
gonna be
Invader?
no. It's gonna be time. It's the longbow for sniper, and it's the
Longbow,
blockhead
that's
for the
right.
shotgun. Both fire
right.
weapons.
That's right.
All right. So that's Caustic
the arrow point
Caverns.
Boy,
All right,
if I
next
even
round.
get one of these, I'm gonna be so impressed.
Paul?
That is the Wildlife Exploitation Preserve.
That is correct. That is correct. The Wildlife Exploitation Preserve.
And you can named enemy Bloodwing and
That's-
also Mothrack.
that is correct.
I played a lot of Borderlands too.
Oh, that's good. That's great. There are Borderlands 3 maps in here. Wildlife Exploitation Preserve. All right. This was from before, but what? This was the logo that I originally wrote. What is this map?
Is
Oh.
this Southpaw Steam and Power?
That is incorrect. If you get a chance, a free guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess. He did Southpaw Steam and Power. That's what he
Did.
picked.
Yep.
What about Sawtooth Cauldron?
That is incorrect. The next buzzer will be able to make the next guess. Tall.
Is this Bloodshot Ramparts?
This is not Bloodshot Rampart. Steve?
Bloodshot Stronghold.
That is correct. This is Bloodshot Stronghold.
Yes.
Now, do you have
Thank
a
you, Paul,
named
for having
enemy?
guided me.
You have a named enemy?
I do.
An NPC
Oh,
or a
it's
dedicated
no,
drop?
It's a group. No, it's the Splinter Group.
Oh, that is completely correct.
Let's go.
It's also Mad Mike, and I think that is it for named
I don't
enemies.
feel good getting that one, Mike. I don't feel good about getting this one because we eliminated so many wrong guesses.
Hey, that's
I think
how it
you
goes.
give him the point. You give him the point for the named enemy, but I don't think either of us really deserve a point for the location.
The person who deserves the point is the person who gets the correct answer.
Yeah, let's go.
That's
Fair enough.
I think that's how we're rolling. All right, here we go. That was Bloodshot Stronghold. Next one. Steve.
The Dust.
That is incorrect. Paul?
Is this Frostburn Canyon?
No. Next buzzer, we'll get the next chance to make a guess. Steve?
Three Horns. Valley.
That is correct. Three Horns
Let's
Valley. Three
I
Horns
almost said
Valley.
Divide. I almost said Divide.
I was
Oh,
hoping you were going to say Divide.
do you have a named
Yes,
enemy?
I do.
All right.
Yes, I do. It's gonna be Doc Mercy.
That is correct, Doc Mercy. And that, in fact, is the geyser that you take to Doc Mercy's lair, turned to a little bit to the left if you're going from the fast travel station.
That doesn't look like the Dust to you guys, really?
No.
He
I knew
goes,
where it was. I
no,
didn't know the name.
no.
I knew where it was. I didn't know the name off the top of my head.
Oh, I liked. You said which one did you say?
Frostburn.
Frostburn. Yep. Yep. The icy vibes. Okay, that was Three Horns Valley. Very nice job. All right, next one. This is the Borderlands 3. Yes. What is this? It's tall.
This is Arms Race.
Yeah. So for Borderlands 3, you get a point for the region and bonus
Stormblind
point for
Complex.
the planet. Or
Stormblind?
planet and planet is the point, and the region is the bonus point.
Okay, so this is Pandora.
Yep. And Stormblind Complex, you already got. You got
Stormblind
2
Complex,
points.
And this is what is it? The Harker, isn't that his name?
Heavyweight Heart. Yeah. For this, we're not doing named enemies. We're just gonna do.
We're not doing named enemies. Okay.
We could,
Okay.
but just because Borderlands 2 didn't have planets and zones, they just had zones. So I don't know. But yes, good job. That is Pandora, the Storm
job.
Blind Complex. All right, next one. Oh,
This is Athenas.
it is correct.
It is. I was so
and
close to get that. Ugh.
Is the area called Athenas?
That is also correct. Nice job.
Okay.
Here we
I was
go.
worried there for a second.
Athena's.
You can give me. I got some named enemies there.
All right, Steve,
Yeah.
go ahead. For a bonus point, give me 2 named enemies from Athena's.
I mean, I can do that because it's still technically my turn. Or we can go and Steve gets a bonus
Technically.
point.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead. No, go
ahead.
ahead.
so
Go ahead. Give us a named.
have,
Give us a named enemy.
Named enemies: the Chupacabra,
True. Oh my gosh. So
the Chupacabra, and we have Captain Tron.
okay, Steve. Do you have another named enemy from this area?
Yeah, Private Beans is there too.
Private Beans as well. I think both of you deserve a bonus point.
Yeah.
I mean, Private Beans drops the Trevinator. I mean, hello. Okay. Trevinator. Okay, ready for the next map?
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Steve.
Oh my gosh. Is that Eden 6?
It's Eden 6. That's for 1 point.
That's the Anvil Warden.
That is incorrect. Tall, for the bonus point, do you know the zone on Eden 6?
This is right before the boss fight.
This is right before Grave Ward.
Grave Ward. Yeah.
And I forget what is this called? Grave Ward. I don't remember what it's called.
Okay, Steve, do you have another guess?
I don't remember the area.
I'll give you a hint. What do you call it? How do ghosts get around? Casper the Friendly Ghost. How does he get around?
Floating Tomb.
That is correct. This is the floating tomb, Tall, for the point.
Floating Tomb. Great job.
That is
Dang it.
that is great. That is absolutely great.
I can't believe I said Anvil. What am I saying?
That was the floating tomb. Okay, here we go. Tall buzzed in 24 milliseconds before Steve. What is the answer?
Okay, so this is why am I blanking on the planet now?
Planet first.
Planet first.
3,
and then
5,
location.
4.
Planet.
I'm sorry, Tall. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Totally deserve it.
Steve, do you have the planet for me?
This is on Promethea.
It is.
Oh, of course it is.
This is Atlas HQ.
This is Atlas HQ. That is correct. Do you guys have any named enemies or anything you want to drop from this map?
You fight Katagawa Jr. on the top of this thing.
I believe that is correct. Yeah. All right. Nice job. Promethea, the Atlas HQ. All right, next one. This is the last one. And I reset the buzzers. Go ahead, Tall. That's on me.
Is this Guts of Carnivora?
Wow, it is Guts of Carnivora.
Awesome.
And so you fight the Agonizer, a 9000 with Pain and Terror.
You know the planet?
Planet is Pandora.
That is correct. Wow, that is the very last one that we have, and the winner by a score of and the points. The points are a little bit out of whack because we changed the scoring system a couple times, but overall, I think we do have a winner.
Before you announce it, if I win, the points matter. If I lose, the points don't matter.
That's exactly how I feel.
Okay, perfect.
With a score of 25 to 17, Tall takes home the victory. Speech.
Speech.
You
know, I'm just glad that I finally, all this Borderlands knowledge that I had is good for something. I feel like there are definitely people out there that could have done far better than me, but I happen to be the winner today, and I'll take it.
We love that. You definitely performed well in both the guns and the map. Steve, anything?
I think I performed best on the buzzer, to be honest.
Very quick on the buzzer. And to be fair, though, you were above average in both categories. I'd struggle with the maps, and that's definitely something I'm going to have to improve in Borderlands 4.
Okay, so we are now going to do a tradition here on the Borderbros podcast. We're all going to make one entry into the Border Guns Hall of Fame, and I promised a graphic. Look, a graphic is on its way, okay? Don't push me. But we all have added guns to the Border Guns Hall of Fame, and we're going to continue that trend today. Tall, would you like to go first?
Sure. I think one that I have to add is not so much for the usability, but just for the sheer difficulty of getting it, and it has to be the Cobra. I think the Cobra is such a good shout for a lot of reasons, but the number one reason is just one of those guns that you have to be at the mercy of the RNG, and that's so to the core of what Borderlands and the Borderlands loot cycle is about, is farming for that gun and getting a Cobra, which I have never had the pleasure of getting personally. But getting a Cobra is such a milestone for any like completionist in Borderlands that to me it's got to be on there.
Now,
Yeah,
Tell, are
for
you
me,
referring to the Border 1 or 2?
I'm talking about the Borderlands 2 Cobra specifically.
Nice, nice.
I've only got I played Roguelands, and one of my very first Roguelands runs, I got the Cobra, and I was running around. I'm like, oh, this thing is fun. It blows up people's heads when you land crits. And then it was only afterwards that I realized, like, wait, this is like considered one of the rarest. Like in the Borderlands 2 hunt, I think they give you 11 points for every Cobra you get, which is by like the most points of any gun because it's so rare. So
I think
yeah,
it's Cobra and the Twister are like
yeah,
the two that are really up there.
right. So yeah, it definitely has that rare factor, and I was kind of sad that it didn't scale with grenade damage when I was playing my Axton because it's an explosive weapon. I thought it would, but it's like a novelty weapon. It's like a trophy gun.
It's really a trophy gun. It's really a trophy gun. But if it scaled with grenade damage or just did grenade damage in general, I think that would make the gun not just a trophy gun, but also a big end game viability gun, especially if you're running Axton.
I completely agree. He doesn't really have a good sniper option, so I agree. I think the Cobra's a great choice. Steve, do you have any experience with the Cobra?
I really don't. I don't even think I've even acquired one. So I've only seen you guys play, or Michael. I've only seen. I think have you acquired one before on screen?
Not like in game, but on Roguelands I have it. It's like a sniper with it's my favorite looking gun in the game by far. It's like a tiny Tina paint job, and when you land crits, that it explodes. It's really cool.
Oh, I get the photo of it right here. Very cool. Oh, the red text is fun. So found out about this, and I was like, damn, I'm bringing that gun back.
That's crazy.
Very, very fun.
I think Hellfire is doing a challenge run now where he's trying to get 2 in one run, which
That
the
will never
likelihood
happen.
of that is so low.
That will never happen.
So low. But I
Guys,
think
the
he's
drop
gotten
rate.
11 Cobras.
The drop rates for this thing is 0.045.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
If you're playing with 4 people, it's 0.029.
That's not bad. You get some people together. That you could get that done.
You can get that done, but
Get the drop and move on.
Reloading the area over.
Oh yeah,
is going to be such a pain.
Yeah,
that's going to take up the most of the time. It's reloading the area and getting your party of 4 back.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I could never. That's a great addition. I like that one, Tall. Steve, you're up.
All right. My pick this time for Borderlands Borders Hall of Fame. I'm gonna go for a gun that when I remember I got this for the first time. It was the moment I had when I was like, what is happening? What's going on screen? Why is this guy evaporating? Moment. It was the I don't know what's happening. Let me look into it. And I was using the Dull Soul Render. Gun dropped from the DLC 2, Guns, Loves, and Tentacles of Borderlands 3. And I remember playing this gun, and I was using this gun, and playing as Zane. That was always about accuracy, fire rate, hitting my targets. And playing with you, Michael, you're like, I don't need to aim at anything, and things just blow up on screen. I'm like, man, I wish I kind of had that. It'd be kind of fun just to kind of relax and not have to look at what I'm shooting all the time. And the soul render started to passively do that for me because I was shooting, and I realized that I wasn't really aiming well, but I was still killing everything. It's because those skulls, guys, that pop out of that thing. It shoots out these pair of skulls.
To use.
And I didn't realize what the skulls were doing. I had to look it up. They at the time they did ×2 the base card damage. So, Mikey, if you want to quickly pull up the calculator, I have something to really present here. It on a level 72 soul render, 26,000 damage.
Okay.
Now, if the skulls, two of them, so times two, they do the base card damage on splash damage. On impact, each skull explode, doing the element splash damage. So that's 52,000. Okay. But times two skulls, about 100,000. You know, bonus damage. Well, guys, later in the life cycle of the game, that times two was increased to times 20. So if you take that 26,000
Times
instead,
20.
times 20. So 26,000 times 20 times two now, because there's two skulls that come out. Bonus 1,000,000 damage just off the card, and people can obviously buff splash damage and do all sorts of funny extra projectiles. This gun shredded people. You don't have to aim anymore. It auto targets. Gone. Zap. Boom. Soul Render. It dropped. It's a fun area where it drops. Tom and Zam. For console players, it's easy farm because you can always have to travel back. So I leave one enemy alive. Dropped to 15%. And I think it looks really cool. Soul Render. Doll. Borderlands 3.
Love
I think
it.
it's a great addition. I just put up some Cobra gameplay here on the side of some. I think it's Killer 6. If you could get to using some Cobra here in the side here, that's what it looks like when you're holding it. Looks pretty sick. I think the Soul Render, as a Mo's player, it's like one of my bread and butters. It's a go-to. Have it in one of my slots for sure.
I haven't farmed that on my Mo's yet, but I'm going to.
It's just that the skulls do grenade damage, and Mo's grenades can crit, which means those skulls that are already doing so much damage can now crit. So, yeah,
That's wild.
It is pretty ridiculous what Mo's can do with the Soul Render. Or a lot of other characters too. I like the Soul Render a lot. Okay, for my pick for the Border Guns Hall of Fame, it is going to be another shotgun. I've done like 4 shotguns in a row, but it's going to be the Trevinator. The Trevinator drops from Private Beans on Athenas, and it shoots a burst of elemental plasma. It's Malawan, but it doesn't have a charge up time like other Malawans do, and they all do elemental splash damage. And when you're playing Mo's, like you see here, Killer 6 playing it with Mo's, it is absolutely devastating. I always thought, for me personally, that the Trevinator on Mo's was the best shotgun in the game. In fact, I actually thinking now, I still think the Trevinator is probably the best gun on Mo's, like, period, if you have the right rolls. It just, for me, this devastates everything. And the pellets are not slow. And it has a great range. And the fact that you can swap between 2 different elements at a moment's notice without a charge time, to me, it's just like, it's so broken. It's kind of known already as an underrated weapon. I think it's more than that. I think it's like the most underrated weapon. Like, it just does so much better than anything else I really use. Even stuff like the plasma coil and the free radical, like, those guns are good, but they kill one thing at a time. This thing kills everything, like everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, it's the Trevinator, and I don't think it's that close.
Tall, have you had the pleasure of shooting this gun?
I have. I use this gun on my Mo's character.
Michael, this is
Mike
cause.
is not wrong. It melts everything.
Everything it's up there, like,
it's really good.
Yeah, it was the Trevor's the kid's name who was given a certain amount of time to live, a cancer patient, and he was a big fan of Borderlands, so the Gearbox let him play the game early, and they named a gun after him in the game, and it just so happens to absolutely destroy everything. So
kind of like what is it, Michael Mammer?
Right. Is that his backstory from Borderlands 2? That Vault Hunter and Sanctuary?
From what I understand, yeah. And I love that Gearbox does that. I know there was already something a fan being able to play access for, because he didn't think he was going to make it. And as somber as that can be, it's very cool to be immortalized.
Trevor ended up making it through, which is kind of like a nice note. It's like, not only does he
That is awesome.
So he gets to actually use the.
The projectiles are really quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
they're
they
really
are.
quick. It's like a shotgun version of the plasma coil.
it really is, and
Mhm.
I'm surprised that
Kind of
it
the
like.
pre-plasma coil, plasma coil.
Yeah, and I've been seeing video. I've seen a ton of top 5 like videos in Borderlands, and it's gonna never makes an appearance. And maybe it's because I'm like a Moe's one trick, or at least I used to be a Moe's one trick, and I always thought like this was better than the Hellwalker by a lot. But the Hellwalker gets put first on like everyone's list, and I'm like, what? This is so much better than
Hellwalker
Hellwalker.
has a lot of cool factors,
Yeah, it
and
does.
so people want to like it more.
This gun doesn't look like a traditional shotgun. It kind of looks like a Malawan. Doesn't look that impressive from
Listen,
the outside.
I've seen Dustbusters at Home Depot that look like that. You know what I mean?
Boy,
Exactly.
does this thing hit like a truck.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's shredding the Valkyries.
These are not easy enemies. This is the end of this.
He's using the wrong element too. He's not.
Here.
He's using shock against armor. Oh.
Pulling through. Great pick, Mikey. Great job.
Hey.
And if I'm not mistaken, it can roll in every element, right? Like
Yes.
or it's not locked to 2 elements.
Right.
So you can get it in like corrosive fire, rad electric, like
I could get mine in shock. If I only could choose one, I would choose shock and corrosive because Moe's does so much fire damage already from firing the Skagsden. So I like to kind of get one shock, one corrosive, and then another one that's a radiation and cryo. That's how I like to do it.
yeah. But the fact that it can roll in every element makes it so versatile.
All right. Thank you all very much for listening to this episode of the Border Bros. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe to see more videos like this one. Any parting thoughts from you guys? Anything you want to say to the people?
Go ahead, Tal.
I am excited for Borderlands 4. I really, like I said before, I really hope they do a Borderlands 3 hype cycle and introduce a bunch of stuff to get us excited and playing the games again prior to it coming out. Catch me on Discord, erected_SNED. That's also my PlayStation handle. So if you guys want to play Borderlands with me on PlayStation, good to go.
Very cool. Steve, you got anything?
Yep. Borderlands 4 coming up. Episode 4 completed. This was a fun one. Mike, I love the new segments of the games. Let's definitely continue that. Even though I'm not very good at identifying maps, I still like to play. It's a good time. Mikey, great job, bud.
All right. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.